Hey guys, this is Patrick here with MT Knives, and I want to go over some things you need to know about your new MT Knives Genesis neck knife. When you get your knife, it's going to come as you see it here, and there's a couple things I want to cover as far as safety goes and just things that are useful to know. So I wrap the handle with the paracord because I want you to stop and think before you go just trying to pull the knife out and using it. So if you'll take it off and make sure there are two breakaway beads on the cord already. So make sure that you don't lose those. And I know you're going to be excited about getting your knife and you're going to be wanting to take it out and test it, but use extreme caution pulling it out, making sure that your hands are clear of the blade. I know this might seem like something obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people, they're excited they get the knife and they go to pull it out and they cut themselves. So we want to avoid that as much as possible because it is sharp. And like Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs said, a surgeon could ply his trade with it. So I'll actually leave a link down in the description to what he had to say about his knife. I personally sharpen every knife that leaves here and check them before they go out, and they all are tree topping sharp. And what I mean by that is without touching the skin, they will cut hair. Not sure if you can tell, but that's cutting hair. You can hear it, you can feel it. So they are extremely sharp, probably the sharpest knife that you'll ever own. I say that to warn you to take great care because it requires very little force to cut anything, including you. I've changed up the style on the sheath and I've recessed this a little bit more. The old sheaths used to get retention from the cutout, and I've moved the retention spot here to the front of the knife. It does a couple things. One is you can get a full grip on the handle of the knife, and you can use your thumb to pop that sheath off. Also, Kydex is a form of thermoplastic. You use heat to form and press them, so heat will destroy them. You want to make sure not to leave these in your vehicle on a hot sunny day where temperatures will exceed 100 degrees. I've never had a problem in the heat wearing these. It's I would guess somewhere around 120 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer, where the sheath is going to get more pliable and actually start to lose its shape. If your sheath ever becomes loose and you feel like it's unsafe, do not continue to wear it around your neck. Contact me and get a replacement for it. The last thing you want to do is lose your knife, or worse yet, end up injured because of your sheath not being secure. Kydex, like a lot of materials, require a break-in. So the sheath might be a little bit tight when you first get it. It should be somewhere between 7 and 12 pounds of pressure that takes to get the knife out of the sheath. All right, so you get your knife, you unwrap the handle, you can pull it out, inspect it. I always tell people make sure you hold the paracord if you're going to pull the knife out of the sheath. Don't even, don't grab the Kydex itself. There's a tendency to try to get your hand around the front of it, around like that, or, grab it like that, all of which is going to leave you with a mark. All right, so once you have your knife unwrapped, the higher that you can keep the knife, the tighter you can keep it, the higher you can carry it, the less it's going to swing on you. And this is going to be better for, if you're bending over, doing things, you don't want the knife swinging around and getting in your way. Also, these breakaway beads are not really designed to be taken apart daily. You can do it. They are going to wear out over time. Saying that, I do it pretty frequently and they'll last about a year or so with daily use. If you get a measurement around your head to where it will slide over, of course, take your hat off. That's how tight you want your paracord. So I get that measurement. I add, maybe an inch or inch and a half to that. And then you're going to want to cut the paracord. You want to expose the inner cords of the paracord and pull out, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, something like that. All right, you want enough of that inner cord out that when you tie your overhand knot, that it is only the jacket of the paracord. If you don't, that knot is not going to fit down inside the beads very well. All right, once you've tied your overhand knot into the paracord, if you have it like this one here, you might go ahead and trim that right next to the knot. That one's probably fine. And then you want to take a lighter and melt those knots. That way it keeps the knot from coming undone. Once you've melted the knots, you can pull the knots down inside of the beads and then snap them together. Might be a little bit tight. That away. Now you can slide your knife over your head without taking the beads apart. The next thing I want to mention is when you go to put the knife back into the sheath, you want to make sure that it is not twisted to where it's going to cut into the kydex. Because once you cut a track for that knife to go in, it's going to try to go into that every time from then on out. When you're sticking the knife in, if you feel any resistance like it's cutting, stop, adjust the knife, and put it back in. Now, you should hear a click when the knife is in. That's how you know that your knife is fully seated into the sheath. Some people don't get that click, and then they have problems with the knife falling out. So make sure you hear that click and you know the knife is fully secured into the sheath. Next, when you go to pull it out, when you go to take the knife out and you're wearing the sheath, you want to make sure to pull it away from your body. And like I said, it takes some time to break in. If you want to, you can use the thumb and push it off. Or I like to get a little slack in the paracord and just give it a quick snap. It comes right out. Be careful when you're putting the knife back. Like I said, make sure that you get it into the right slot and make sure the knife is fully in the sheath before you engage it, push it in. The reason I make and sell neck knives is because once you wear a neck knife and you get used to it, I don't believe there's anything more convenient or more useful, more accessible than having a knife hanging around your neck. Some people are concerned about wearing a neck knife, and I understand the concern. I've been wearing a neck knife for almost 10 years now and have not had any problems. If you feel uncomfortable about it, then there's 4 eyelets in the sheath. So there's multiple different ways you can attach it or fasten it to a bag or something. If you carry your knife some way other than around your neck, feel free to post pictures and share with others how you carry your knife. I stand behind my product, and I'd like to thank you for your support. If you have any problems with the knife or with the sheath, please contact me and I'll help resolve any problems that you might have. This has been Patrick Rohrman with MT Knives. Make it a great day.